Hello everyone. Now let's learn how to make the ice cream coaster together. First, let's prepare the tools. Start by making the threader. Hinge both ends of the fishing line. Take out the tape and stick the line ends. Please prepare the tape yourself. After doing this, it will be used as the threader. Sticking tape makes it easier to handle, but if you don't have tape, it won't affect threading. Next, let's learn how to thread the yarn. Hinge the folded part of the threader. Then thread it through the small hole at the needle tip. Pay attention, you must thread through this small hole. Remember not to thread through the large hole directly. If you do, the yarn won't stay on the embroidery fabric during the punching process. Thread through the small hole, then continue pushing forward into the large hole. Keep going until the threader comes out from the other end. Next, thread the yarn through the loop. Pull the threader to draw out the yarn. Leave about a 1-inch yarn end, approximately 2.5 cm. Threading is complete. Take out the embroidery hoop and loosen the screw at the top. Remove the inner hoop. Then take out the embroidery fabric with the pattern printed on it, facing the pattern side towards you. Place it onto the inner hoop. Try to position the pattern properly and center it within the inner hoop. If the pattern is slightly off-center, adjust it by gently pressing with your fingertips. Once adjusted, place the outer hoop on. Then tighten the screw at the top. At the same time, stretch the embroidery fabric tightly in all directions. Tighten the screw a little more. Press the fabric surface and check for any obvious dents. If the surface does not feel tight and springy, it means the embroidery fabric is not stretched tightly. Please continue stretching the embroidery fabric. If the pattern on the embroidery fabric is pulled and distorted, gently loosen the fabric and pull it back in the opposite direction. Press the fabric surface again to check if it is tight. If the fabric surface is not easily dented and feels tight, this means it is properly stretched. Continue tightening the screw to prevent the fabric from loosening during punching. The side with the pattern is the front of the embroidery fabric. When working, insert the needle and punch from the front side. Flip to the back. The loops created by punching will appear on the back. Take out the punched needle and adjust the length of the needle head. Take a pipe cleaner. Note, the color of the pipe cleaners in the material kit is random. The video is for demonstration only. Place the pipe cleaner on the needle head. Bend the front end inward. Wrap the remaining pipe cleaner around the needle head. Then press down firmly to make the pipe cleaner tighter. Measure the remaining length of the needle head, leaving to 0.5 cm. That is 1 inch. Cut off the excess pipe cleaner. Fold the end inward to avoid pricking your fingers. Take out the instruction manual for the corresponding style. The picture shows the finished effect. Please refer to the manual often while making it. This marks the yarn color code. The text below corresponds to the stitching technique. Here are the tools used during making. Let's start punching from this area. Find the yarn color and stitch technique used. The tool used is the punch needle. Take out the yarn of the corresponding color. First find the yarn end and loosen the yarn. Refer to the beginning of the video to thread the yarn of the corresponding color into the punch needle. This is how it looks after threading the yarn. Then take enough yarn and loosely set it aside. Pick up the embroidery hoop, keeping a certain distance from the table surface to make needle insertion easier. Find the starting point on the edge line of the area to be punched. Insert the needle. With the punch needle's bevel facing the direction of progress, and fully insert the needle head into the fabric surface. Fully insert the punch needle head into the fabric surface. Flip to the back side and pull out the yarn tail. Then gently pull the punch needle out of the fabric surface. Keep the punch needle's bevel facing the direction of progress, and keep the needle tip close to the fabric surface as you move forward. Do not lift the punch needle too high, as this will cause extra yarn segment on the fabric surface. First, return to the previous step. Gently slide the needle tip to restore any large holes in the fabric surface to their original state. Pull the yarn at this end of the punch needle to tighten the yarn. Punch the next stitch at an interval up to 3 holes. Rotate the embroidery hoop and adjust it to a comfortable position. Continue punching along the edge line of this area. If you are not satisfied with the previous yarn segments, you can undo it. First tighten the yarn, then punch a short yarn segment here. Be careful not to place your fingers under the needle tip to avoid injury. The length of the yarn segment depends on the pattern. The more curved the line, the shorter the yarn segment. After completing the first round, insert each stitch in the second round at the middle of each yarn segment from the first round. Staggering the stitches creates a fuller effect. Then punch this area. Flip to the back and cut the yarn. Then punch this area. Use a sharp tool to poke the yarn end into the fabric surface. This is the effect on the back. Next, work on this area. Find the color code stitching technique. Use the punch needle again. Take out the yarn of the matching color. Thread the yarn into the punch needle in advance. This is how it looks after threading the yarn. Find the corresponding area and insert the needle at any point along the edge line. Then start inserting the needle here and continue filling this area. Keep filling the gaps. Then switch to green yarn on, punch the upper ice cream scoop. Change to the corresponding color yarn and continue punching the next ice cream scoop. Next, make the narrower area of the ice cream cone below. Punch horizontally. No need to change yarn. Continue punching the same color area below, inserting the needle from the upper right. To distinguish it from the horizontal area above, please punch in a vertical direction. Turn to the back side and cut the yarn. Use the sharp tool to poke down the protruding yarn segments. Next, make the left decoration area. Find the corresponding color yarn and thread the needle. This is the effect after punching. Next, let's make the decoration on the ice cream cone surface. First, take a look at the embroidered result. Take out the yarn in the corresponding color. Pull out 2 strands of yarn. Take out the plastic sewing needle and thread the yarn through the needle eye. Knot the yarn end to secure it. Choose a point on the front side, then bring out the needle from the back of the embroidery fabric. Pay attention to the yarn end, press it with your hand to prevent it from coming loose. Find a point to insert the needle at a diagonal lower position. Bring out the needle again at a distance from this point. Keep an even spacing, then find the next point. Next, change direction and embroider a diagonal line. First, find this point and bring out the needle from the back of the embroidery fabric. After finishing the embroidery, turn it over to the back and knot the yarn end. Cut off the yarn tails. Next, make the background area first. Take the yarn of the corresponding color and thread it through the punch needle. Find a starting point at the lower edge and insert the needle. Keep the yarn segments evenly long and first outline the circle. At this intersection, change direction and punch in the opposite way. If there are gaps that are not fully filled, insert the needle again to continue filling them. Follow the method on the left to complete the other areas as well. The main body is fully punched. Finally, make the sugar sprinkles on top of the ice cream. Here, use number 1 yarn on. The stitch technique is straight stitch. The tool used is a plastic sewing needle. Take the corresponding color yarn on, thread it through the needle eye. Knot the tail end to secure it. Please note, the sugar sprinkles are embroidered within the white area. The placement of the sugar sprinkles can be arranged freely according to your personal preference. The video demonstrates the method for you to learn and refer to. Knot the yarn end on the back to secure it. Then take out a new color and similarly embroider a few sugar sprinkles as decoration. Clean up all the yarn tails on the back. The whole piece is now complete. Next, loosen the screw and remove the embroidery fabric. Lay the embroidery fabric flat on the table. There is a circle like this on the fabric, a mark left by the embroidery hoop. Be sure to cut along the inner line with scissors to trim off the excess fabric. After cutting out the main part, keep a small distance and cut around the embroidery fabric. Be careful not to cut the yarn. Leave a small gap between the opening and the yarn. Then take out the hot melt glue stick. Fold the edges inward and glue them in place. Press to secure. Flip it to the front side and check the front appearance. Be careful not to fold the yarn on the front while folding. If you don't have a hot melt glue gun, you can also use a lighter to heat the glue. Next, I will demonstrate heating the hot melt glue stick with a lighter. Rotate the glue stick and heat it with the inner flame. Heat until it softens and becomes transparent. Quickly apply the softened glue to the embroidery fabric, then press and fix it. Keep heating until melted. Precautions when using a lighter. First, heat with the inner flame. Soften until transparent before use. Heating with the outer flame will cause the melted glue to turn black, which looks unattractive. To save time, I will continue the demonstration using the hot melt glue gun in the video. Next, apply a small amount of glue to the overlapping part of the embroidery fabric and press firmly to stick it. After sticking, place it face down on the table, then take out the felt fabric and cover the back. Apply hot melt glue and attach the felt fabric to the back. Press down firmly for a stronger hold. If any edges are not glued, continue applying glue. Keep checking to ensure all edges are fully glued. Trim off any excess felt fabric along the edges. Your ice cream coaster is now completed.